there, welcome to 5D TV. I'm Tania, Kolar, your host. Today I'm joined by Dr. Stacey Cooper. She is an award-winning author and chiropractor, and today we're going to discuss health from her perspective. She's going to give you some amazing tips on how you can enhance your well-being and quantum leap your life. So stay with us and let's say hello to Dr. Stacey Cooper.
Hello, good morning.
So great to have you here. It's nice to see you again.
I know, it's so exciting.
And in fact, I want to congratulate you on your latest book. I understand that you just released another book, so congratulations on that. And tell everybody what the title is.
The title of my newest book is Heal Your Health, Nourishing Your Mind, Body, and Spirit Naturally.
Naturally. See, I think this is such a great, word, because everybody these days is really looking for alternatives, right? The healthy way so that we can heal our own bodies. So let's talk about your personal journey and, how did you get into chiropractic?
Well, I'm a fourth generation chiropractor, so it really was bred in the bone, as they say. And since I was 12 years old, I knew that I wanted to be a chiropractor. And just, I was working in the office on Saturday mornings with my dad, and just seeing the transformation that happens naturally with the body was really incredible. And that's what drew me to chiropractic in the first place.
Wow. So what would you say that, really intrigues you about chiropractic the most?
Every single day, it is a miracle that happens because the brain and spinal cord are truly the very first system that forms after the sperm and egg unite. And when that happens, that is the master controller because nothing else functions without a functioning nervous system. And so being able to help the body of my patients regenerate, rejuvenate, restore, and gain proper function again through removing the interference to the nervous system is truly a miracle every single day.
Wow, I think that's so key because I know that you firmly believe that we have the power to heal ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think so many people have in the past gone to medications and looking for solutions, and oftentimes, and I can imagine you'd see this in your practice where people will come in and their symptoms are perhaps even worse than what they initially started taking the treatments for.
That's truly what happens when patients come to me because they truly are looking for an alternative because what they're doing isn't working for them and they're at their wits' end and they just don't know what to do, and so they show up on my doorstep.
Oh, I love that. So for the viewers who are watching right now, who are sort of in that situation right now where they feel like they've given up or someone else has given up on their health because it's just not working, what can you say to them?
There's absolutely hope. The incredible thing is that your body adapts to every single environment that you provide for it. It is adapting and modifying and changing every single second of every single day. And because of that, if you keep doing the same thing that you're doing, your outcomes are going to continue in the direction that they are. But if you change the environment that you provide for your body then adapts to that new environment, and that's when change can happen. So I'm here to share that there is hope. When you have an understanding as to how the body functions on the inside, you can change what your outside expression is doing.
That is really amazing because, we all have that power within us, but a lot of us don't realize that we do have that.
Exactly.
So do you find that people coming to your practice as a beginner, what are some of the resistances that you're met with?
It certainly runs the whole gamut. Oftentimes people don't know what chiropractic is, and so there's that fear of the unknown. And I make sure that through every interaction with my patients that I walk them through step by step, everything that I'm doing at every moment, so that helps to quell that fear. And there truly is no fear. If what we did didn't work, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And I don't have the statistics or what have you, but I can see that there's so many more, clinics popping up. It's more of a conversation between people, and you're learning through other people's experiences as well. I mean, I have so many friends that are, taking chiropractic care, and they've had some amazing benefits. I personally have also taken it. I've had some awesome results, and I was one of those people. I was skeptical. I had no idea what to expect. You know, I saw some of the videos online,
Oh, that is
the
the
cracking, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, that's like scary, right? So I really want everybody at home to really know that it's not as you might imagine it to be.
It's
in your
nothing
mind.
like what you imagine.
Yeah.
And that is exactly
Yeah.
what my patients tell me. Oh, that was nothing what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And that is why it's so much fun to work with children, because they don't have preconceived ideas. They don't have all that media that has fed into their psyche that creates those barriers. And so it's really a lot of fun. And when you work through and explain the process before you provide your care, that just opens the conversation, it relaxes the patient, and everybody comes from a different place based on their own experiences. And what I find is that working with patients, it truly changes their whole life, because now we're not doing symptom care. Now we're getting to the cause of the problem, and that's where change really happens.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you. It's not that Band-Aid sort of approach. This is really going to the cause and really helping so many people, including children, as you say. I think one of the things that you've really been effective with people coming into your clinic is by quelling that fear. Right? And that's exactly what you talked about, fear of the unknown.
Absolutely.
And I think it's so important today to educate people on, what chiropractic care is and how they can better enable themselves to live a healthier life or lifestyle. I think it really is lifestyle in general, would you say?
Absolutely. And that's just it. When I share this story with patients, they really get it. So how many vehicles will you purchase in a lifetime? How many automobiles?
Well, not many, right? You'll have a few.
A few,
for sure.
certainly.
Yeah.
And you take that vehicle to the mechanic to change the oil, rotate the tires, and to maintain it so it lasts longer for you.
Yeah.
How many bodies do you get in your lifetime?
This is it.
One.
This is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So take care of it. And that's what chiropractic care is all about, is preserving the health and wellness that you have so that you can have optimal health and take care of it, and prevention is truly the key.
Okay, so, to that point, what about somebody who now is, 60, 70, 80, they've not been in optimal health? Is there help for them, and can they undo some of the damage that they've done?
Truly. And that's exactly what I alluded to earlier, is when you change the environment that you provide for your body, then your body adapts to the new environment. So if you start to feed your body differently, diesel fuel in a gas engine doesn't work, right? And so if your diet is not supporting the function of your body, then that's not going to work. So when you change your diet, when you change your lifestyle, when you enhance some of the activity that you're doing and getting off the couch perhaps, and all these little tweaks, and it's about little things. It's about the baby steps so that it's manageable. I'm not going to tell you to go out and start training for a marathon, because that's going to be your first barrier. Right? It has to be something that you want to do and that you love to do, so that you can then have your body function better. It can begin to heal, and your outcomes are completely reversed.
Well, I think for a lot of women in particular, it's about putting everybody else first. And I think it's so important to really recognize that we all need to put ourselves first. And health, if we don't have our health, it really changes everything in our lives. So it's so important. And so for the viewers, can you help them sort of gauge, do they need assistance? What should they be looking for? What are they, issues do they have that you can help them with, and get them in, or even give them some tips on things that they can do for themselves at home that are easy just to get started?
Absolutely. And that is very true. In our society, and even as a little girl, I was taught to always do for others, right? And putting yourself first was considered selfish. And I just gave a talk yesterday. And it truly is not selfish when you look after you first, because I ended up in exactly that situation where I lost my health because I was doing so much for everyone else, and there was no self-love in my life, and I was not looking after myself. And that is the lesson that I learned. And so when you actually prioritize and put yourself first, you are then no longer exhausted, living a life of frustration, and just completely depleted because you've been doing everything for everyone else and nothing for yourself.
Yeah.
So when you start to make that shift and prioritize yourself, everything changes, because when you nourish you first, this is how your body can heal. You then have energy, you have joy in your life and self-love, and this is when you have so much more to give to others, because now you're not depleted. You're coming from a place of fullness. And it truly is so much more fun to live that way.
Oh, absolutely. And you're giving your best self to everybody around you, right?
Absolutely.
Ideal. And obviously stress is a big factor, right? So the cortisol levels, can skyrocket for many people. And by putting everybody else first, it happens in such a way that you have no idea, because it just, gets piled, the layers, the layers.
It just creeps up.
Yeah. So how can you help sort of unpeel the layers?
Exactly, and that's your self-love practice. And so when you begin to put yourself first on your priority list, you have to schedule it. You can't just think about it that, oh, I'd love to do yoga, or I'd love to do meditation, or I'd love to go for a walk, or I'd love to spend time with my husband just being together. And you can't just think about it, you actually have to schedule it so that it happens. We are so tied to our phones and our calendars now. If it's not in the calendar, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
And that's where I teach people the plan.
Okay.
It's about planning. So there's hard entries and soft entries in your calendar, where hard entries are things that you have to do. My office hours are my hard entries, because my patients expect me to be there during a specific time. But there's soft entries. Perhaps, when you go to get groceries, that's a little flexible. When you're doing laundry or household chores, that's a little bit flexible. So those are soft entries. But I encourage everyone to make your self-love a priority, and to make that a hard entry in your calendar. It's in ink.
Yeah.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
It's not changeable. So pick something you want to do for you. Put it in your calendar as a commitment to you. And it can be anything that you want to do for you. So take the time to make that hard entry in your calendar, and be sure to schedule at a time that's going to work. Don't put it at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a Tuesday if that's when you're supposed to be at work, because you've already created your first barrier. So plan it at a time that's doable.
Oh, I love that advice. That's so great. I think that's so inspiring for everybody listening, and seeing you talk about that. It is really important to set that plan, as you say, because it sort of, falls into place nicely. And then I think it becomes a habit. And once you've created that habit, it now then becomes easy. Even though at the beginning you might feel that, oh my gosh, it's such a struggle to do that, it actually is really easy and really simple. And I find that once you start doing that, and the benefits that you experience, it's so worth it, and you're going to want to continue just because you feel so good.
Absolutely. And when you have the benefits, now you crave it.
Yeah.
And it becomes such a commitment to you that you don't give it up.
Yeah.
That becomes your non-negotiable
Yeah.
in regards to your health and wellness routine.
Oh, I love it. You might even love it as much as chocolate, right? This is so good. This is so great. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other books that you have written, because I think you have such an incredible amount of knowledge that you're sharing with the world, and I think everybody needs to hear about that.
Okay, so I'm a #1 international best-selling author with What Self-Love Got to Do with It.
Yay!
And that is all about what I was just sharing with you. And now I've also authored a cookbook, because people don't understand what happens inside their body. And so you're going through the drive-through, it goes in one end, comes out the other, and you don't give any thought as to what happens in between. And just as I mentioned about diesel fuel in that gas engine, that's what you're doing. So through my Healthy Fuels cookbook, it's all about nourishing your body with whole, complex foods. And it doesn't mean it's complex to make. It just means it's not a simple, highly processed, refined food, because your body doesn't function well on that. It's about whole foods that are complex, that take a little bit longer for your body to digest and break down, which is a very good thing, because that's going to help to eliminate the diabetic connection.
Oh,
and
the spike in the insulin?
Oh my goodness, yes,
Okay.
because that is definitely an epidemic that's happening right now.
Wow.
And so through the cookbook, all of my 4 children, teenagers, can make all the recipes, and they enjoy eating them too. We don't have a chef in the kitchen. We're a family of 6. So if it doesn't work in my home, it doesn't end up in the cookbook.
Oh, perfect.
Yes,
Yeah,
so it's all kid tested, kid approved.
Nice.
And you get to have chocolate cake too. It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with a diet. It's a lifestyle.
See, I love that, because oftentimes the moment you say to yourself, oh, I can't have that, the restriction, the brain kicks in, and all of a sudden it's like you just want more of it. You just, do the opposite, because you're depriving yourself. But when you can give your body, feed your body that fuel that it needs, and you'll see the benefits, it's again easier to just incorporate that as a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Right? And I love how you've incorporated the whole family into the network, and I think it's so great to be a role model for family, for friends, for those that are close to you, to really help each other live an amazing healthy lifestyle. As we said, health is so important for everybody.
Welcome back to the studio here at 5D TV. I hope you are enjoying our special video presentation. While we still have a ways to go in the video, I wanted to stop for a moment and take you on a tour of the website, 5D.tv. When you're on the website and you scroll down the main page, you will see categories like documentaries, alternative medicine, series, inspiration. All you need to do is click on one of those categories and it'll take you to another page where content is organized within that category. And then just click on a video or podcast that you want to watch or listen to. It's that easy. 5D.tv can be accessed literally anywhere around the world that is plugged into the internet, and you can use it on your iPhone, your iPad, and even laptop. You can watch countless hours of mindful content that's going to help nurture your personal development and your spiritual growth. And it's ad-free. Oh, and I do suggest that you have a notepad and pen handy when you're watching the content on the network, just in case you want to record any aha moments, insights, or revelations you get along the way. I hope that this brief introduction to our website, 5D.tv, helps you to navigate easily through it. And now let's get back to our Health and Wellness Summit.
So what are some of the ailments, so to speak, that you're seeing in your practice that are very common, that somebody at home listening right now can probably say, aha, I have that as well? So can you help them out?
One of the biggest things is people are just so frustrated with their failing health. And they're trying to do all of these different things and implement them, and it's just not working, and they don't know why. And it's because they're just trying, first of all, diets, right? They don't work. There's a mechanism in your brain called the reward cascade. And when you eat those stupid salads all week, you deserve a cheat day because you worked really hard. And that doesn't work, because now your cheat day sabotages everything that you were trying to accomplish. And that's the frustration that patients are feeling. And they're not losing the weight. Now the thing is, in order to lose weight, you need to fuel your body well first. You need to improve the function of your body. That's when your metabolism increases, and that's when weight loss becomes effortless.
Wow, it's really interesting.
So it's completely a flip.
Yeah, that's I think definitely a barrier for a lot of people, right? Or some people think, oh, I'm going to starve myself, and then yet your body can, feel like it's in starvation mode and holds on to all the calories.
It holds on to every single thing you put in your mouth.
Yeah, wow. So this is good. We need to learn this and how to really help create that healthy lifestyle, right? And let it become easy for you. And it's like going to the gym, right? The moment you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, I have to work out for an hour, it's so hard, and guess what happens is that you get up and you're like, oh, forget it, because you already talked yourself out of it.
You certainly did. Mindset is a huge component, and that's why I teach about exercise. Your brain has that reward cascade, and if you think it's a chore, then you're going to have to reward yourself with something negative in the end of it all. And a study was done between two groups of people, and one group was told, okay, you're going on this 5-kilometer walk, we'll see you when you come back. This is for exercise, health, and well-being. See you when you get back. And there was a buffet at the end. The second group was told, we've planned a 5-kilometer route for you. Go on out, enjoy the day, the sights, the sounds of nature, and we'll see you when you come back. Those that enjoyed the walk, rather than seeing it as a chore of exercise or a task that needed to be completed, those that saw it as a joy didn't need to reward themselves. The reward was in the task itself.
Oh, I love
and they
that.
chose much less calorie-dense foods from the buffet.
Yeah.
And it's directly because they already viewed the activity as a joy. So pick something that you truly love to do, and that in itself will be a reward. Try something new. Find a new class, something different. Experience yourself. That'll also re-energize your brain too when you're learning something new.
Oh, I love that. So by taking that first step and, you know, whether it's going for a walk or what have you, do you find that that one thing that you're doing for yourself will spiral into other areas of your life?
Absolutely. When you take that first step and it's doable and it's not a huge task that already forms the first barrier, then you begin to feel better. Your body begins to function better, your circulation, your lung function, your endurance. And you have to do it in baby steps. And as you see the improvements, then that just gives you more motivation to do more things for yourself. And that's all part of self-love. It's all part of mindset, and it's all about health and well-being, because that gives you the shift of mindset that this is doable. I can do it. What am I going to accomplish next? And you just progress forward from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's certainly many reasons why people would not be feeling well or in optimal health. So can you share some of the issues that you're finding with your clients that you have been extremely helpful with, and maybe helping them to, you know, regain mobility, right? Often people live a very sedentary lifestyle because of the way they feel. They don't have the energy. And again, it could be related to food or lots of ailments. I know my mother had all kinds of issues. She was diabetic, she had fibromyalgia, all kinds of issues, not the best diet either. And so for somebody like that, or for, again, people who maybe don't have an active lifestyle, what can you say to help them?
There are so many things. And the first thing is, all of those things that your mother experienced are reversible.
Wow.
And people don't know that. And they don't understand how the body functions on the inside. And that's why I love sharing that information, because it just opens up their whole world in regards to what the possibilities are. So diabetes is a degenerative disease in regards to your body not functioning well. And then you get signs and symptoms at the end. And then they manage those signs and symptoms, but they don't get to the cause of the problem. You know, everything begins with inflammation in the body. So your body's made up of trillions of cells. The cell is just like a water balloon. So if you put that water balloon to the tap and you put too much water in it, it's going to burst.
Right. Oh,
your
yeah.
body
Great
doesn't
analogy.
have that luxury. If all your cells burst, you would disintegrate. So that's not going to happen, but they stretch, and that causes pain. Inflammation, swelling of the cell causes pain, and then if the cell is too stretched to such a degree, then it can't function optimally.
Wow,
now you
fascinating.
get signs and symptoms. So inflammation, swelling, comes from the foods that you eat. The three most inflammatory foods you can put in your body are wheat, dairy, and sugar. All of the white things. So that's what I teach. What happens on the inside, so you can swap out those highly processed, refined, fast absorbed foods which spike blood sugar levels, create inflammation in the body and so much degeneration, that when you swap those out to whole, natural, complex foods which are easy to make and tasty and delicious, it satisfies the satiation center in your brain, which you may never even heard about before.
That's a big one.
It is. And then your body can begin, your engine can begin to function well. This is where metabolism changes. This is where swelling decreases. This is where you get rid of that inflammation at the cellular level. Now cellular function can happen the way that it's supposed to, and you completely change your outcomes. So everything is reversible. There isn't anything that can't be shifted or changed, even to some degree. Your body adapts to that new environment, and that's the key component.
Yeah, and that's such great news. That's such great news for not only for yourself, but for loved ones. You know, it's really challenging, of course, if you're experiencing illness and pain, and it's affecting your lifestyle. But it's also really challenging to watch loved ones suffer.
Oh my goodness!
And not get the help that they need, or not be willing to, you know, change their diet. But it's so important. It's so key. I think today we often eat foods just for the convenience. You know, the fast food. We live in a instant gratification society. We've got so many options available to us, and oftentimes those are not healthy choices.
No.
So how important would you say reading labels are? Because I find that, some of the things that you mentioned, let's say sugar, right? Sugar is in everything essentially, even bread, pasta sauce, all these things that it's almost invisible, but yet it's there. So is it important to read labels?
And the same is true with wheat as well.
Yeah.
So my short answer is, no, it's not important to read labels.
Okay.
Anything with a label, don't eat it.
Oh.
A cucumber is a cucumber and it doesn't have a label.
Okay.
Whole, natural, healthy foods aren't labeled, right? So even when you're talking about gluten-free foods, which people think that that's a healthy option, the trouble is those are made with potato starch, tapioca starch, and rice flour, which again is highly processed and refined, which spikes your blood sugar levels just as much as white table sugar. So that is not a healthy component. Yet the food manufacturers make you think that that's a healthy choice because everyone's on the gluten-free bandwagon.
Yeah.
So gluten has its own issues. Wheat is highly processed, and wheat converts to sugar so fast that it spikes blood sugar levels faster and higher than a teaspoon of white table sugar.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's so many things that people just don't know about what happens inside their body once that food goes in the mouth. And that's what I love to teach. So the short answer, buy whole, healthy, natural foods that don't have a label. That's the easiest way. But yes, if you are buying packaged and processed foods, you really want them to be as close to nature as possible with the least amount of processing and the least amount of refinement. Because as soon as it goes through a grinder and it's pulverized, it'll automatically dissolve when it's in your system and it floods your bloodstream. Whereas whole foods that you eat and have to chew and break down, and your digestive enzymes have to work at it to whittle it away, to break it down into its simplest components, provides a slow release into the bloodstream.
So,
it eliminates the crash and burn.
Yeah, oh, so good, because everyone, I think, especially the afternoon, sort of get that sort of lull. But by the whole foods staying in the system longer, is your body also absorbing the nutrients better as well?
Well, that all depends. So if you have digestive issues, bowel issues, if your intestines are inflamed and irritated, your digestive system is a hose. It's just one hose from the top to the bottom. And everything goes in one end and comes out the other. The point is, if it can't be absorbed into your body where it can then be delivered to the cells, even as far away as your baby toe, it can't be utilized. So you may be providing great things for your body, but if your system can't absorb it due to inflammation or disease in your digestive system, then your body's not being nourished well at all. And therefore, things aren't working well. So you really have to get to the core of the issue and fix the issue, not just manage the symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the inflammation, as you say, obviously would be a factor there. And inflammation, I understand, is really the cause of all diseases.
It's the base root cause.
Is that like the body saying, oh, help, I need some help? It's like an SOS?
Absolutely. And that's why your body gives you signs and symptoms to let you know things aren't working well. But the problem is you just don't listen. Or you treat the symptom, but don't dig to the cause. The cause is the key. Prevention is the key, and you can turn that around.
Amazing. So what about if we go back to, let's say, sugar, because sugar is highly addictive. In fact, I saw a documentary where they did a study on mice, and the mice at the end of the study were more addicted to sugar than cocaine. And that to me was just, mind-blowing.
Right.
That I thought, oh, how is that possible? And sugar, if we are that addicted to sugar, how do we make that change to now start incorporating whole foods that are not loaded with those sugars?
Well, as I said, your body adapts to your environment. So when you start to swap out, and I give you at least five minimum, different things that you can use, whole natural foods, to swap out sugar.
Right.
And that's all in the cookbook, right? So you're just making things a little differently. You still get to have your favorites, like chocolate cake, and you just make it differently. And
so
it's
great.
still delicious, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to swap it out when you know what to use in place of it. So it's not about denying your
Yeah.
body, it's about feeling it better. Now, I don't recommend that you eat chocolate cake for 3 meals a day, but certainly as you make this shift and change, your taste buds change as well. And as you start to incorporate these whole foods, you taste the natural goodness of the whole foods, and you don't need sugar.
That's so interesting, and I can sort of attest to that because I changed my diet, and I loved processed foods, pizza, my favorite food. I love pizza and, you know, sugar and dessert and all that kind of stuff. But I really was very conscious of avoiding sugar, avoiding gluten, and I felt amazing.
Right.
And, you know, initially I was like, oh, how can I give this up? But you're absolutely right, because you start to appreciate food, and you'll have, you know, let's say a salad, and you're like, wow, this tastes really great. Why didn't I enjoy this before, right? So
because the food manufacturers trick you with the high processed fats and the sugars and the salt that they add. That stimulates your taste buds, and your taste buds change. When you change the environment you're providing for your body, they then change again.
Wow.
And you begin to appreciate and really taste the foods that you're eating.
And I find so many people just give up and find that there is no hope for change in the body. So you talked about kids and preventative. So should we get our kids in, and how early can we start to help prevent some of those things? Because it's much easier to avoid it than to
truly
heal it.
Prevention is absolutely the key. And sadly, this is the first generation of children who will not outlive their parents just because of the diabetic epidemic. And the food manufacturers that are providing all of these highly processed, high sugar content, high fructose corn syrup, all of these simple fuels are ruining how their engines are running.
Fantastic. Stacey, such a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much and sharing your knowledge. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. I wish I could talk to you all day long about this. I want you to tell people how they can find you.
You can go to DrStacey360.com, and everything is right there. All my social media links, my website, my free video 2-part series called Eliminate Your 5 Hidden Energy Drainers. Just go to DrStacey360.com. Super easy, and we can connect in all of those fashions.
Thank you for watching this video interview with 5D TV. If you would like to watch more video interviews like this, please visit our website at www.5d.tv, and you know, you can subscribe to one of our memberships there. By supporting 5D TV, you will help us continue to produce meaningful and helpful videos so that you can live a better life. Enjoy the rest of your day.